Hello, welcome to a short video showing an example of using the Advanced Wave Spawner to do a specific use case. What we want to happen here is we have this character in the scene. We're going to pretend that this is the player character. And when we instruct the system, we're going to have it spawn 5 enemies. And then it will continue to spawn 5 more enemies every 5 seconds until we tell it to stop. So this simulates a situation where a character enters an area, triggers an alarm, and then the spawning starts, and if they're still in the alarm area after 5 seconds, then more enemies will spawn. If they leave the alarm area, then the spawning will stop. So what I've got is I'm going to use the Advanced Wave Spawner. So if we go to Solink Spawner in Tools and say Create Level Manager, it's going to get us our start of our Advanced Wave Spawner. We will use Auto Start, and don't worry about that. That doesn't mean it's going to start spawning, because the individual levels and waves have their own methods of starting. So we'll keep this as is and nothing special. For the level name, we're going to call this Alarm Area. Add level. And then we'll hit the E to edit the alarm area. And then we can define how many waves we want. And for this alarm area, we're just going to have one wave. I'm going to call this the Chompers Spawn, because I'm going to use the Chomper enemy. So we'll add wave, and then we're going to edit that wave. Okay, and here we're just going to say any time of day. We don't need to change any of these parameters. Let's see, don't need to repeat the wave. We're not going to repeat the wave, we're going to repeat the wave item. That makes it simpler. So we'll add the wave item. And this is going to be called Chompers. And we're going to go ahead and find the Chomper AI. Drag that into the prefab. Now we're going to put a population cap high enough so that we can continue to spawn the enemy for quite a while. I'm just going to say 50, but you can make that higher. 100% probability of spawning each time it wants to spawn. We're going to start with 5 spawns, minimum, maximum 5. And they'll spawn instantly, there will be no delay. The trigger we're going to set to a manual trigger, just like described in the spawn area example. We don't need to change the origin, we don't need to change the method, but we'll give it a radius of about 10, so it'll spawn in an area about 10. This one we will repeat, so now we're going to say repeat. Now, I did put a maximum cap of 50, so technically we should only repeat a certain number of times, but just for purposes of this, I'll just say unlimited. And this is where we put our delay, 5-second delay. And we're not going to change how many spawns, so it'll do another set of 5 spawns. And the other thing you may notice, keep this completion as spawning complete, which means that after the first 5 spawn, that it'll immediately start counting down this 5-second delay. And so now we've got the manual trigger. We have to have some code to say go ahead and trigger that. So what I did is I created an empty game object and added this test script that I created called Trigger Wave Spawner. And I'm going to drag in the wave spawner that we want to trigger. And I called it Chompers, the wave item. And all I did here, and this is just for testing purposes, is create a little script that says when I hit the F10 key, it's going to call the wave spawner perform trigger and the wave item that we want to trigger. And as we saw in here, that means it's going to be this wave spawner and the Chomper's wave item. And then I added a key code of F11, and when I press that, it's going to pause the wave, so it will stop spawning. So this will simulate when the character's out of the alarm range. So these are the key codes you want to use to perform the trigger and to pause it so that it stops spawning. So let's go and just run it, and we should see an unlimited, every 5 seconds, 5 chompers spawning. Okay, so for now I'm not doing anything. Let's say, okay, went to the alarm area, I'm going to hit F10, get our spawns. Okay, and now there's more, and they keep coming. But I'm going to hit F11, and now I'll stop spawning. And just to show you the pausing one more time, I'm going to pause it right after the very first spawn this time so that we never see another 5 spawns. Okay, so I'm going to hit F10, they'll spawn. I'm going to immediately hit F11, and we should see no more than 5 spawns now because we're considering him out of the alarm area. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Thanks for watching.